Hello, this is Tony Blazer with a quick little review of tonight's race. Just got done watching A2. It was a pretty exciting event. Definitely had a few surprises in it. Certainly the 250 main was very exciting. I thought the track was really good tonight. The thing was very challenging. I think the whoop sections in particular seemed really gnarly. We're giving a lot of guys problems. Had a few sketchy moments there. That little kind of a whoops double up over the right before the finish line was giving people a lot of trouble. Definitely a challenging track. I was very impressed to see Eli Tomac finally pull it together. If you watch my pre-race video, I had my concerns about whether Eli was finally going to get back to speed. I think this guy tonight was the 2017 Eli. Super fast. He had like a 10th place start. Mowed through the pack, ran him down quick. This is the guy I think I was expecting to see at A1. Kind of wondering where he'd show up at St. Louis. But, this is kind of classic Eli. One week he's on it and just like on fire. The next week he might get 10th. Who knows next week. I don't think this means anything for round 4. It's kind of still to be seen whether this means he's kind of really turned things around and he's going to go on a tear here or not. I have no idea, obviously. No one of us do. But he looked good. He had the speed tonight, ran Kenny down, made an aggressive pass, and pulled away to the win. So that was excellent for Eli for sure. I think Kenny's ride in second was excellent. He ended up taking the points lead, so gets the red plate going into the round 4 with Justin Barcia having an off evening. This was a great night for Kenny. I was thinking he might get 2 in a row. I was hoping early on, but then you just saw Eli coming, and I was like, okay, this is kind of a foregone conclusion. Kenny was on it last week. It just didn't seem like he had the speed to hold off Eli. As soon as you saw him coming, it was kind of like, well, this isn't going to work out. So kind of had that feeling that it was not going to be his night. But great to have the red plate. He had it a couple times last year. I'm hoping he's going to be a little more tough this year and be able to actually hold on to it a little bit later in the season. In third, we had Cooper Webb. Great comeback ride for him after last week's. I think he got 12th. He definitely seemed like he was under the weather. Tonight he seemed like he was much friskier. He looked good in his heat race. I don't think at any point I thought he was going to win, but it was great to see him back up front, at least challenging for a podium, getting kind of his season back on track a little bit. If he had another bad round, would have been tough for the title, but with everybody else being pretty inconsistent, I think Cooper's still in this. If he can win a couple of races, he can really get himself back in the title chase. I don't see Kenny going on like a 4 or 5 win streak, or even Eli. Like I said, again, he's kind of up and down in general in the past, so I think he can feel that if he can get himself back up to speed, he's still going to be in this. Barcia, got to be bummed for him. I was real impressed, obviously, with his win at the first round, second last week when he was sick. Maybe that sickness is maybe this week is kind of like what Cooper Webb had last week, where the illness seemed to get a little progressively worse before it got better. If he was ill last week and then this week he was really feeling bad, I could certainly understand his finish. But otherwise, I think he got 9th in the main, and that's definitely not good enough to hold on to the red plate. Yamaha has to be bummed with that. It's kind of a bad deal. He's certainly not out of it by any means. He could still, if he gets better and he gets back up to speed, he could still be in the title fight. But unfortunately, this is kind of what you've seen from Barcia over the years, where he'll have a couple of good rounds, make a little bit of a splash, and then kind of things go sideways. So I'm hoping that's not what happens this year. I'm on the Barcia bandwagon. Hopefully he'll prove me wrong here and keep himself up front. His teammate Plessinger, man, you have to be worried. I don't know what happened in the main. He was in second place in the first turn or two, and then I think he ended up getting 15th. So that is not good. I gotta imagine he's getting a pretty fair payday after getting the being the 250 national champion, 250 Supercross champion. I got to think that contract was pretty impressive, and he definitely is not exactly living up to that paycheck so far. So maybe things will get better for him. If they don't, he might be looking for a ride at the end of the year. Kind of a rough deal there for him for sure. AC had another kind of so night. I would say it was certainly less dramatic than last week, where he was up front and then getting punted by Osborne and then had a crash at the end. I think he got 6th in the main, and certainly not what he would have wanted, what I was hoping for. I think a lot of us, after that first A1 thing, would think Adam might have had a win by now, but he's a rookie. It's going to have some ups and downs. Tonight was maybe more of a down. He didn't cartwheel or anything crazy, so that's good. But it definitely wasn't the finish that I was hoping for, and certainly wasn't the finish that a lot of other AC fans are hoping for. I don't know. I mean, I still think he's going to get a win or two. It's starting to look maybe less likely that he'll be a title contender, just because I got to think he's probably going to have a few more of these kind of mediocre finishes. But you never know. Like I said, I do love that everybody's been up and down. The series is great so far. We've had 3 different winners. There's a lot of swapping of positions and stuff, and that makes it great. It basically says that nobody's out of it yet. It's only 3 rounds in, so not time to panic. Adam can still turn this around and get himself back in the contention for the win and the title, I think. In 4th and 5th, we had a couple of teammates. We had Zach Osborne and Jason Anderson. I think most people would have thought that Jason Anderson might have been a little friskier than he was tonight. He seemed like he was getting shoved around and just didn't have it. Actually, to get 5th, it actually is better than I expected. It looked like he was going back pretty quick at some point, but he and Zach actually got into it in one corner. I was like, oh boy, that's not what you want to do with your teammate. But 4th and 5th is good for the team. It's a good finish. I'm glad to see Zach putting his bike in the top 5. I don't know if he's going to be a contender for too many wins this year. It'd be nice to see him, kind of show the speed he showed at New Jersey last year in a round or 2 here. But in any case, he's moving forward, doing well. Justin Brayton, another guy in the top 10. Malcolm Stewart had another finish in the top 10. Great for MCR. Got to feel bad for Blake Baggett. I think he actually passed for the lead for a minute there early on, if I remember right, and then he washed out in a turn. So I thought, hey, maybe he's going to do like he did last year at round 2, kind of go out of nowhere and make a fight for the win here. But then, of course, typical Blake Baggett, it's like either he's like going to win or he's going to like crash or do something crazy. So unfortunately, that seemed to be the way that went. Certainly the biggest drama of the night was in the 250 class. Jet Lawrence had what he looked like was the win there, but then Dylan Ferrandis came and passed him on the last lap. I don't think Dylan's pass on him on Jet was anything wrong with that. It was just aggressive. He just kind of went underneath him. I think clearly Jet let the nerves of the whole thing get to him. A 16-year-old kid, he was riding like a maniac. I thought they were gonna like collide over the triples or something there at one point. It looked like it was going to be kind of sketchy. I'm glad that did not happen because, like I said, it didn't look like the kid wanted to let it go. He really raced hard. Apparently, he broke his collarbone in that crash at the end. Super bummed for him because he was exciting last week and this week, and that really sucks. Now you got both Lawrence brothers out. That's a bummer because it seemed like that kid was super exciting to watch. Feel terrible for him. I will say Ferrandis' pass on Christian Craig earlier in the main was maybe a little bit aggressive. It's hard to say. It looked probably worse than it was because it came out so poor for Christian. He kind of looked like he got the bikes caught and then pitched off the thing, and it looked like a pretty bad get off. I'm not sure how much Dylan really hit him or just they got their wheels crossed. I mean, it's Supercross. There's going to be some crashes. There's going to be some contact. It wasn't like the torpedo that Mike Alessi put on Brock Tickle years ago. I don't think it was nearly that bad. But man, the boos. I don't know if you guys watched his podium speech, but I haven't heard boos like that since maybe when Carmichael took out Travis Pastrana. I think it was 2003. He hit him, and again, maybe Carmichael was a little less in this one. Just hit Travis. He was getting tired. He fell, and then the crowd just went berserk. It was almost like shades of the old JMB days. Feel bad for Dylan. I'm not a big Dylan Ferrandis fan, but you have to respect his desire to win, and the fact that he came back, won after having such a tough race last week, really made himself more of a title contender again. You got to feel bad. Like clearly he didn't mean to hurt Christian or anything like that. I made fun of him on Twitter. Probably made some French jokes some people got upset with. Twitter's a funny thing. I just like cracking jokes because people get so butthurt on there. But anyways, be that as it may, good for Dylan. I'm glad he was able to bounce back. Bum for Jet, bum for Christian. I hope he's okay. Christian Craig just can't seem to catch a break, but in any case, definitely an interesting night in the 250 class. Justin Cooper certainly came out kind of as the smell like a rose in this whole thing. He ends up getting second. Pretty much a undramatic ride for him. I think he certainly padded his points lead, I'm thinking, with that second. Dylan probably made up some points, but Austin Forkner, of course, crashed out. I don't even know where he finished. He was way back when he picked up his bike. Forkner is one of those kids. He's kind of like AC early in his career, super fast, but the crashes keep piling up and piling up. And, you can only hit the ground so many times. I'm a guy who's hit the ground 1,000 times, and let me tell you what, you feel it. You feel it less when you're 18, but eventually those crashes are going to hurt you. They're going to, break something, blow out a knee like you did last year. You can't keep hitting the ground all the time. You've got to have to kind of calm it down a little bit. If you're going to win a title, you're going to have to be there every week, and you can't do that crashing out. So feel bad for Forkner, feel bad for Mitch. Forkner seems like a nice kid. It might take him a little while to sort this out. Most guys that have his kind of talent eventually figure it out if they don't wad themselves up too bad first. But hopefully better days are ahead. Kind of throws this series, upends it a little bit. Forkner probably going to be tough to come back. Really, if Justin Cooper, it's a short series. If Justin Cooper just keeps it on two wheels, keeps getting podiums, it's probably his title. But of course, the 250 class is unpredictable. It could be next week, maybe it's Justin Cooper that gets taken out. You don't know. That's what makes Supercross so fun. So overall, I think it was a great night of racing. It was exciting. If you're an Eli Tomac fan, you have to be excited. Personally, I'm not too much of an Eli Tomac fan, so I was hoping for AC or Kenny to win, but anyways, as I said before, anytime there's a good race, I'm happy. It was exciting. The 250 class was certainly exciting. Super bummed out for Geico Honda, but, maybe, gosh, I don't know what they're going to do to going forward. Hopefully Christian's okay. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the race. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments in the section below, and we'll talk next week. Peace.